Welcome to Michael J. Bragman Stadium, home of the CNS North Stars. I'm Kyle Marshak. Alongside me for this boys lacrosse matchup, Owen O'Keefe, and of course, Riley Kennedy, your analyst for tonight. A huge matchup to say the least tonight for the boys. Obviously 3-8 on the season, fourth in the SCAC Metro. And Riley, you supposed to me before the matchup tonight, CNS is 0-5 in their last 5 games versus West Genny. As a matter of fact, they haven't beat West Genny in at least 15 years, and that's just according to the record books, as we get Aiden Long fighting off the ball against Sirocco's for the face-off to open the game.
Kyle, in at least 15 years since CNS has last beaten West Genny, but this win, if they get a win tonight, is so needed because a loss here and you're out. A win here and you've punched your ticket into sectionals if you're CNS.
Absolutely. That's going to be the key to the game tonight for sure. The North Stars have to win. I mean, Giovanni Heater, obviously a colleague of ours, as they try and turn around and get a shot off. That's Mason Blakeman trying to get the first goal of the game for the North Stars. As I was saying, Giovanni Heater, a colleague of ours up here in the booth, and obviously starting goalkeeper and captain of the CNS North Stars, is obviously very intent on getting that sectional title. In such a tight section, of course, losing record teams can still be so successful, and we see it with the talent packed in the field in front of us tonight, with 2 losing teams facing off, and both teams supposedly trying to find their way into sectionals. Of course, for West Genesee, just trying to secure that number 3 seed and possibly trying to get a home field advantage if they get a couple wins in their final few games, although that's not necessarily likely.
And Kyle, you hear early on the West Genny bench is screaming early. They're trying to slide early to Ian Leahy, the left-handed midfielder for CNS. He normally draws a long stick defenseman. The second,
as Blakeman turns around and puts the ball away. Excuse me, Riley Kennedy. Blakeman had other plans, and he'll start off the game for the North Stars with a 1-0 lead. And we see it a ton in these matchups against successful teams such as West Genny. As they start off early, the North Stars try and separate, but then we see that the teams can claw their way back. Oh, and how important do you think it is for the North Stars to have a mentality to not allow these teams to claw their way back in the latter half of these games?
Kyle, my biggest point for this game is last time CNS face-off at West Genny. CNS was winning 5-3 at halftime, and that game finished with a 9-7 victory for West Genny. In that fourth quarter, Kyle and Riley, CNS was outscored 4-1 by West Genny. You cannot let that happen, especially against the West Genny team, who, when they get rolling on both sides of the ball, are a very talented team. You cannot afford any simple mistakes like we've seen from the CNS offense and defense in recent games.
And a flag flies in the field, and West Genesee will play on as number 5. Nick Louise will run it up the field, a Lemoyne commit, so he's headed for some D2 lax following this season. West Genesee, Udumul passes out to the right side of Giovanni Heater's cage, and they'll start to settle things down here as RJ Davis, one of the defensive midfielders for the North Stars, will step onto the field.
And Kyle, like you mentioned, Louise going to Lemoyne.
Ooh, ripping shot, and Giovanni Heater stuffed on the play, still gets a great save on that one. A good reaction reaching to his right side. He'll get it. The North Stars will get away with possession on this one. No, it appears there's a penalty on the play, excuse me.
You're going to see here tonight that Firth, the Hobart commit, along with Alex Rosa, as Hobart and St. Bonaventure are in attendance for tonight's game. Firth will be running on the wing to help out Aiden Long and brother Tanner Long on the faceoffs, which is extremely important if CNS is going to win this game.
And speaking of Nolan Firth, obviously that number 1 defender for the North Stars, how important are those matchups with Firth tonight? You know, who do you think you see him on? Will it be Rosa or other offensive guys for the West Genesee Wildcats, Riley?
Firth will be matched up with a midfielder tonight, as he's normally matched up with Rosa. But as you see on this man-down defense, Firth is on a string. Firth will be going behind, playing at X. He will also play in the middle and up top. He's so important on this man-down defense. But like your point, he will be matched up with a midfielder tonight. If they have to switch to Rosa like in games past, he will.
Meanwhile, West Genesee Wildcats just trying to find that gap as Nolan Firth fills it so well on the inside as that close defender for the North Stars. Out to the right side, number 5, inside. Ooh, stuffed away, pipes a save, and Giovanni Heater will get away with one, and then passing back out, he gets stuffed on the pass, and he sails it out of bounds. So West Genesee will maintain possession as they continue to pressure with that man-down defense for the North Stars.
Kyle, like I said, those are not the turnovers that CNS cannot afford to make. Those passes, have to be crisp and on point if CNS wants to come out of here with a W on their home turf tonight, closing out that home stretch.
Nick Louise now to number 4, Sam Mankabelli for the West Genesee Wildcats. Going out to the right side. Firth goes behind the cage. They go out to the top, and they rip it in. Top bin. So now it's a 1-1 ball game with 9 minutes to go here in the first quarter.
Now, Kyle, you saw there, CNS, they might have still been a man that I didn't see if the guy was able to come back on for the North Stars, but you saw the defense shifted Little too late. West Jenny was able to find the hole there, and McNeil rips one in there to that top corner past Giovanni Heater. Netting this game up at 1 apiece with 8:55 left to go in this first quarter.
Nolan Firth perhaps a little late in the slide there. Of course, it was a man down defense, and so Riley, what'd you notice there?
Man up. It's tough if you're the defense, but as offense, you have to move the ball, and that's one of my keys for West Jenny. Move the ball. It's so hard for CNS and any team to play against a team that moves the ball, but moves off the ball as well for offensive players.
Meanwhile, as Riley was speaking, Tanner Long, younger brother of Aiden Long, gets the huge face-off win, so the North Stars will start with possession. And who else but Anthony Semino, the senior captain, headed to St. Bonnie for some D1 lax following this season to handle the ball around X, and now out to the top, it's Elijah Martin.
And Kyle, one of the most important things for CNS and West Jenny is to find your matchups. It's the game of lacrosse, and you have to move the defense.
Meanwhile, Mason Blakeman trying to put away that second goal. He'll go back out to Anthony Semino at X. Semino out to the top. There's Mason Cicerelli. He's been the highest goal scorer for the CNS North Stars so far.
And it's interesting, we saw last game against Baldwinsville, Cicerelli did run kind of a midfielder run as an attackman, though.
As he gets the ball at the top and just sails it wide. It appears in the get-back call the North Stars will No, it does not appear so. I can't tell by the mannerisms of the ref, but yeah, the North Stars will maintain possession, Now Anthony Semino to start things off for Max.
Look for the midfielders to cut down in the situation.
Ooh, that pass on the cutting man, it appeared to be Elijah Martin just sailing wide. Tyler Mazzoli will go out to midfield and pick that ball up.
And you see Firth keep the ball back over. It's the little things in lacrosse. Make it a simple game, and Firth kept it back on sides so CNS could retain possession.
Ball pops out. Elijah Martin will pick it up, scooping it out to Mason Cicerelli, who will send it around to Anthony Semino, the facilitator of this North Stars offense. Semino, a few goals last game. Now sails it wide just over the head of Mason Blakeman, who could not get it on the cutting pass. So now Mazzoli and Martin will head off the field, and the West Genesee Wildcats have a chance to reset.
Kyle, I'd like to see more involvement from these midfielders that are drawing short six, as we saw there, and Elijah Martin and Tyler Mazzoli. We've both seen them score goals against many teams, especially West Jenny, as they both had a goal against Jenny the last time we saw them face off here at Michael J. Bragman Stadium. With them drawing short six and their ability to score the ball on offense, I'd like to see them try and get some goals in tonight and attack those short six.
And there's a big play from number 22, Ian Leahy, scooping up the loose ball, and he'll roll up field on the left side.
Control the ground balls, control faceoffs, and you will win the game.
Now Leahy to the inside. He puts it away. The North Stars grab back the lead with 7.5 to go here in the first quarter.
Leahy picked the ball up from his own 25-yard line, ran down the whole left side of the field, kept it in his left hand, went back to his right, put it right back in his left to hit the top corner.
Fantastic job by Leahy to grab back that lead for the North Stars. How important is it for the North Stars to go back and forth with the Wildcats early on in this matchup, Owen?
I think CNS need to take a lead here, and the way they take that lead in this early first quarter is by winning those faceoffs, Kyle and Riley. If they can continue to win these faceoffs, as so far they're winning them 2-1 against West Jenny, they have to continue to win.
And the North Stars nearly getting it there on that face-off as Tanner Long came out with it. And now a gaff in the midfield. The West Genesee Wildcats will turn it over, and who else but Nolan Firth to pick it up. Perhaps going for goal. Rips it, deflects out. A good save by Bryce Landry. He'll get lucky with that one. Bryce Landry, one of the better goalkeepers in Section 3 athletics. He's just absolutely fantastic, and he's been locked down for the Wildcats as the North Stars pick the ball back up at midfield. As I was saying, Bryce Landry, one of the better goalies, in Section 3. He's headed to Oswego for some lacrosse after this. 101 saves, 81 goals allowed. That's a 55% save percentage, one of the best in Central New York.
Kyle, going back to that last play that Firth almost scored a goal, wing play is going to be so crucial tonight for the North Stars with Firth and whoever else is on his opposite wing.
Semino turning around to his left side, fired it low. Blakeman picks it up, trying to roll around to the top of the cage. Ooh, a little bit of a swim move to the inside and gets the ground ball goal. Some acrobatics, and Blakeman gets the goal.
The refs will call it in the crease.
Ooh.
No goal for Blakeman.
They wave it off. It was tough for me to see from this angle, but it appeared Blakeman laying out kind of found himself right in top of the crease. But still a fantastic effort for Mason Blakeman. The Wildcats now with a chance to reset, nearly one of the most acrobatic goals I've seen all season. Meanwhile, big man for the Wildcats, number 36, rolling up the field. We don't have him on the rosters as of right now.
That'd be James Tully, Kyle.
James Tully, a sizable kid for the Wildcats. Passes to the inside, and speak of the devil, Tully rips it wide.
And that would have been James Tully's first goal on the year, 2 assists coming into this ball game.
James Tully, quite the sizable kid, and there's no lack of size in this field. Meanwhile, the Wildcats sail a ball out of bounds, and the North Stars will roll it upfield, a chance for them to reset.
I'm talking to Coach Sean Smith before the game. He said we're going to play at a fast tempo, and that's something that CNS struggles with coming in. CNS loves to play fast, especially when they played fast against Liverpool. But if CNS plays fast tonight, West Jenny will capitalize on those opportunities.
The North Stars get the ball upfield just in time, and Ian Leahy will roll up the left side. Turns around, and Elijah Martin will have a chance to do things.
Riley, we see CNS struggle when they don't set their own pace. When the other team sets the pace, that's when CNS starts to break down, struggle against the other team. If they can set the pace tonight, not let Jenny run at the pace in the style they want to play tonight, CNS will come out of here with a win.
Smino, top of the crease, fires it in and gets it. The North Stars grab a 3-1 lead with 5 minutes to go here in the first quarter.
That goal was so crucial for the North Stars, putting them up 2, but we know with Riley, as he says every time on this broadcast, lacrosse is a game of runs. It doesn't matter how much you are up by, a team can always go on that run and bring the way back into a game.
A massive goal to continue the lead. And again, the North Stars, a team who, as you mentioned, Owen, kind of play down to their competition or play up to their competition. You mentioned it. The Wildcats really can maintain pace if they decide so. So it's really important early on for these goals and to be put away in order for the North Stars to kind of dictate their own pace.
But Kyle, we've seen it all season. CNS gets out to this fast pace, this fast start, but they can never finish and play 4 quarters. They always lack in 1 quarter. But look for tonight, see if they can complete a full 4-quarter game.
Absolutely, all 4 quarters, obviously a custom that we're all kind of used to here in Central New York as Syracuse University fans. You know, a lot of college football teams have kind of adapted that philosophy. Now Elijah Martin rolling to the crease. He'll pass back out to Blakeman and now to Semino.
And CNS just needs to find their offense. They need to play their brand of lacrosse, but find their matchups. They need to get everybody involved on offense. As there's a moving pick.
West Genesee will have a chance to roll the ball upfield now. Blakeman trying to ride on defense. The North Stars have struggled riding for most times. A team who, when they are riding, obviously struggle to get the ball. And now the Wildcats trying to fight for this ground ball in the midfield, and it appears they'll get away with it. So the North Stars can't pick it up as it sails right into their sticks. And now number 13 for the Wildcats rolling right towards the crease. He'll cut around the X side.
And Kyle, CNS was just in a 10-man ride where they bring Firth up, they bring Geo Heater up to cover everybody on the field.
Now number 5, Nick Louise, ripping a shot way wide. Gets a little bit of a deflection on the stick, and that one will pop out of bounds. The Wildcats will maintain possession.
Louise is lucky Udmo was there on that backside of X, ready for that ball to come out back to his side. As if that was just a wild shot, and lucky that Jenny had someone there before they get back.
A great job by Josh Kubala on the guard right there. Getting his stick on a piece of that ball as Louise rips that one wide with pace. Now the Wildcats to the inside, get the low shot, and that's number 14. Joe Delaney, the Cortland commit, putting the ball away, and the Wildcats clawing their way back. It's a 3-2 ball game.
Kyle, I saw Delaney. He was anxious at the 40-yard line. He caught it. He saw his matchup. He was matched up on a short stick, and that's one of the keys to the game if West Jenny is going to win this game. Find your matchups, but find the CNS short stick defenseman, whether it's a defensive player or an offensive player that got stuck on defense, and that's where West Jenny is going to win the game. That's where every team's been successful against CNS all season.
That is not one of the players you want to throw a short stick at, Riley. Joe Delaney, a very talented, very skilled attacksman and midfielder for the West Jenny Wildcats.
Another big face-off win for the North Stars. That's 2 consecutively now. Yet in that last possession, the Wildcats got away with the goal. Giovanni Heater taking his time, rolling the ball upfield. Now he finally finds Mazzoli on the left side.
And that's a smart play by Heater, and Mazzoli could have even stepped over the 50-yard line because he was drawn by an attackman, and attackman obviously can't get over because that's an offsides.
Back out to the top. Leahy off to Cicerelli. North Stars really taking their time now in their offensive possessions to just circulate the ball around the top.
And time can only benefit CNS if you're going to win the game.
Absolutely. Now Blakeman trying to get things done. Drawing that extra defender. Instead, he'll pass out to the top. And now Leahy rolling out to the right side. Back out to Semino.
CNS has to be careful of not too much conjunction inside on offense. You have to make West Jenny play the width of the field.
Semino not necessarily involved on any goals just yet as he tries to get the assist on Elijah Martin cutting to the inside. The ball deflects back out. Semino will pick it up. Now to Ian Leahy. Mason Cicerelli, yet with no points just yet in this matchup either early on. He'll be a guy that'll contribute later on. Now Blakeman around X. A screen from Semino and a penalty on the play. They'll get the moving pick.
One of the second or third times that CNS has been called to that all night.
Again, those small errors, you just can't afford to do that early on in a game. And, you know, definitely down the stretch as well. I mean, against a team like West Genesee, you just can't afford to make those mistakes. West Genesee passing the ball. They finally find a man upfield who rips a shot. A good save by Giovanni Heater. He'll finally get his stick on it. And now a chance for the North Stars to make the West Genesee Wildcats ride this time. A fight for it at midfield. A whistle is blown.
Good time out there by Gatto. You saw Green was struggling with that short stick midi on him, trying to poke the ball away. Joe Green not really able to control the ball in his stick, but he's able to get the ball away from the North Stars. Great timeout from head coach Nick Gatto, able to get the North Stars more in control when they have this possession up 3-2 with a minute left in this quarter.
So first time out of the game, a chance to talk things over for Coach Nick Gatto, a very storied coach in Central New York, a former OCC assistant coach. He's had 11 national championships under his belt, 9 as a coach and 2 as a player. So if there's any man to trust in Central New York to head a varsity team, it has to be Coach Nick Gatto. Owen, how important, is it to have a guy who's such a leader and such a figure in Central New York lacrosse to be, you know, igniting what he wants to instill in these young men here on the field tonight?
Oh, Kyle, it's like saying that if you told me that Eric Devendorf was coming to coach like a high school basketball team, almost that same level, that level of high-intensity college athlete that brings that intensity, brings that awesomeness you'd want in your team. It's just what Nick Gatto brings to the CNS team, like Aaron Devendorf most likely would to a high school team.
Absolutely. And speaking of intensity, Owen, you and I spoke with Giovanni Heater before the game. He shot us a text and said the boys are freaking locked in for this matchup tonight. Of course, they need this win in order to get into sectionals with a 400 record. Man, imagine how locked in these guys are with the intensity. I mean, there's no lack of intensity on this team. You know, I know very well a lot of the athletes on this squad. Nolan Firth, definitely a guy who envelops intensity. Riley, you got to play a little bit with Nolan Firth. What is his mentality on defense? Is he as intense as he is on the field?
Nolan Firth has one of the highest IQs, not only in this league, in Section 3, but the whole state of New York, as he's going to Hobart to play alongside with Alex Rosa, who he's not matched up with quite yet, but we'd like to see it. Firth is a bull, and that's really how I can relate him. He has just one of the highest IQs, and he doesn't quit on any possession.
Nolan Firth, definitely a leader of this team. I mean, he makes such a difference on defense, and with his size, I mean, I think bull is a good way of describing it.
No, and coaches ask a lot of Firth. I mean, in the 10-man ride, they ask Firth to be that kind of free safety kind of guy and read the defense, read the offense. Firth is counted on a lot this season. He's one of those guys that'll help him make this sectional push.
Semino from distance puts a shot away, and the North Stars grab a 4-2 lead with 1 minute to go. Or excuse me, they'll call off the goal, a deflection up against the net.
Confused me, Kyle. I definitely thought Semino had his second goal of the night.
Man, that's the second time the refs have taken a goal call away from me tonight, Riley. Now the Wildcats with a chance to kind of respond to that taken away goal from the refs. Man, a rough start to this game for me, at least, up here in the booth. The refs really messing with me, Owen.
And Mazzoli's matched up on Tully on the 40-yard line.
And another save for Heater. A shot from distance and kind of a routine one for Heater.
And if you're West Jenny, that's not the shot that you're looking for. Find your matchup, but attack Mazzoli because he's a short stick to offensive midi that was stuck on defense.
So Tyler Mazzoli gets the ball upfield. Now Elijah Martin with a chance to rotate things around as he sends Ian Leahy to the inside.
Like to see some more aggression, like I already said, out of Mazzoli and Martin here on the attack. Get some aggression on these short sticks, get a goal in for the North Stars per chance.
Dishing it off to Elijah Martin, turns around right into a brick wall as the clock buzzes away. So the refs take away a couple goals from the North Stars. Nonetheless, they still have a 3-2 lead as that first quarter comes to a close. How are the North Stars going to have to change things around, Riley, and come out into the second quarter to maintain this lead?
It's not that they have to come out fast, Kyle, as I was almost going to say that, but they have to come out playing smart. I mean, some of my keys to the game are control the ball and the time of possession. Here in the first quarter, they did control the ball and they controlled the time of possession, but in the first quarter, you have to get out of feel for the team. They've played West Jenny twice. In a normal season, you play every league or every team in the league twice, and it's their third time around, so you have to get a feel for that in the first quarter. You know, win the face-off wars and the ground ball wars. CNS has done that so far. Wing play is crucial, like I said, with Firth and whoever else is matched up on that 50-yard line. If CNS is going to win this game, it's because of Firth on that LSM. It's just so crucial. And find your matchups. That's both teams and attack them. And everyone needs to be on the same page. That's the biggest story of this CNS team. They're 3-8. Everybody has to be on the same page. Offense, defense. Where's the slide coming from? Where's the next pass going on offense? It's a page thing. Everybody has to be on the same page and on all cylinders.
Absolutely, and when it comes to mentality, Owen, obviously, you know, tactically they'll have to change a lot of things around, but you and I have noticed, obviously, the North Stars have really struggled to maintain leads, perhaps because of mentality, as Riley alluded to earlier. How do they maintain this mentality to keep this lead through all four quarters?
Well, if Giovanni Heater says they're dialed in, they got to stay dialed in. They can't get distracted by any sort of thing that may be on their mind. They got to be locked in on this next 36 minutes of lacrosse, Kyle. They just got to keep their focus in, locked in on this game, and then once the game's over, you can go do whatever else you had your mind on, but keep it on lacrosse for these next 36 minutes.
So the athletes fill back up on the field here at Michael J. Bragman Stadium as the sun sets. A brisk 65-degree day, certainly a lot better conditions than what we saw last week with a little bit of rain. So the North Stars ready to go, and I'm sure very pleased with the conditions tonight for a great and very, very important matchup. We'll notice now on the field R.J. Davis stepping out there. He's certainly helped out on some face-offs. We need aggressive guys to pick up those ground balls in the face-offs. Noel Firth on the other side. So Aiden Long versus Sirocco for the huge face-off to start off this second quarter.
And look for Firth to read this ball and get it. There it is.
There it is. Ball pops right back out. Aiden Long with a fantastic job of trying to get that. Gets a little shove as his stick pops out in Sirocco, so we'll have to rush off the field soon enough. And the North Stars maintaining possession.
They have to clear the ball effectively as they did to Leahy. That's one of also the most important things that CNS has kind of struggled with this season is clearing the ball and riding the ball.
So fantastic job from Heater, finding Leahy from distance, and now the North Stars rolling around the right side. Mason Cicerelli's been quiet so far, usually a guy who's burning hot early on. We saw last game Mason Blakeman kind of took over in the latter half.
And Cicerelli has been a gamer against West Jenny in both matchups. 7 goals total, 4 goals in the first matchup on May 6th here at CNS. And then over at Jenny, he had 3 goals on May 25th. But they've been amazing games, an 8-9 game and a 7-9 game. So both these teams know the game's going to come down to the wire, and it all comes down to those ground balls, face-offs, and those mental mistakes.
Now Mason Cicerelli back out to the top. Now Elijah Martin. Elijah Martin, one of the smaller athletes in the field, but he certainly uses his speed to his advantage. Cimino, left side, ripping low, just bounces over the goal, but Cicerelli will be there on the get back.
We see there Garvey is just not letting Cicerelli do anything. Garvey is controlling Cicerelli on this offensive possession for the North Stars or defensive possession for the Wildcats. Just keeping Cicerelli away from the goal, not even letting him get a chance to get a look at the goal.
Now, I find it interesting that Garvey's on Anthony Cimino because as Elijah Martin rips a shot wide, North Stars will maintain possession again. Riley, because, you know, Desco is really that #1 defender. You know, obviously pinning them on Cicerelli or Blakeman might be more important. So, you know, what do you think it says about putting your #2 guy in Cimino who kind of facilitates the offense for the North Stars?
It's a matchup thing, too, and in the second quarter and the first quarter, you have no idea. But I like this matchup, and Cimino's a feeder at heart. So almost putting maybe your #2 guy in Cimino is not a bad thing, but you have to know that Cimino is crafty and he will go to the goal. And you normally see Cimino doesn't take it to the goal. But look at this first quarter. 2 minutes into the second quarter, Cimino is taking the ball to the goal. He likes his matchup.
Meanwhile, on a failed pass attempt from Cimino to the inside of Blakeman, who couldn't get in the other end of it, the Wildcats will rush up the field. Now they're taking their time trying to get things going. Rolling out to X. Now out to the left side of Giovanni Heater's cage. Giovanni Heater, as I mentioned, a colleague of all of ours up here in the booth.
And one of the things I find interesting about CNS is they're talking about who's hot. In previous games, they didn't know who's hot. And that's why CNS gets beat. Know who's hot, know where the slide's coming, know for the 2 slides coming, and that'll help you win the ball game.
So when you say who's hot, you got to mention, obviously, that their field vision has improved throughout the season. Is that a natural thing, or do you think that's what Coach Gatto's had to work with these players?
It's a coaching thing, and it's a comfortability thing playing with your teammates. More time you're hanging out with the team, you get more of a connection. You know who that 2 slide's coming for. It's all about time and just playing with your teammates.
And another good pass upfield.
It's like Cy Lieberman in there,
Yeah,
Kyle. Getting
number
off the
11,
bench.
Cy Lieberman's getting a lot more burn for the North Stars as of late. And they'll pass it upfield to number 3, Nick Bassesi.
This is a midfielder line that we normally don't see, but for CNS, it's almost smart. Give your starters a break, and this is so important for the midfielders.
Now Cicerelli inside, gets stuffed right on top of the crease from Bryce Landry.
Yeah, it's just not the look you're looking for, because that's a kind of a killing 2-3 minutes off the clock. Get those second, get those third line midfielders in, kind of kill the clock, but make the defense kind of work. Get them tired down. Put your first line in and kill them.
Now whistle on the play and a timeout for the Wildcats. Sean Smith looking to talk things over now, as I was just thinking it was possibly a slashing call, as we saw Cy Lieberman getting one hand on that stick. The refs have been kind of stingy on that stuff, but that's besides the point. The Wildcats looking to talk things over. Riley, what do you think they're discussing now?
No, not even, Kyle. I'm going to take back to last play. We had Cy Lieberman, a 9th grader. We had Tanner Long, a 9th grader. We had Nick Bassesi, who got pulled up from JV as a 10th grader. I mean, that's just crazy. In a game that you need to win to go to sectionals, that's the line that you have in there. But that's how important it is to kind of kill that defense and get your starters in. But going back to West Jenny, I mean, kind of in this huddle, man, you're down 1, 8 minutes left. You're in a comfortable situation. They just keep playing your brand of offense, keep playing your brand of defense, and just attack this CNS defense.
And when it comes to the CNS defense, how would you describe the way they play? Obviously, kind of your average man-on-man defense. And it's like, with that being said, how do you see these guys kind of attacking that for the Wildcats?
It's an IQ thing, Kyle, and you hear tonight how they're yelling, because that's just what the coaches are. I mean, that's watching film, that's playing with your team. It's an IQ thing, but going back to the beginning of the season, the IQ just wasn't there. Where's the 2 slide? Where's the hot guy? It's all a talking thing. And I've said this a numerous amount of times. Talk on face-offs, talk on offense, talk on defense. Heater has to talk in goal. So, it's a talking thing. But, yeah, this CNS defense plays fast and they press out. And they're willing to take risks. But with risks come rewards. High risk, high rewards.
Absolutely. And when it comes to communication, Owen, I know you notice it with all the sports that you watch, obviously, as an avid sports fan in general, as we all are up here in the booth. How important is it for these teams to just constantly communicate? I mean, we hear it down here on the sidelines. You often, as a sideline reporter, hear it. How loud is the CNS sideline usually?
Kyle, I don't care who's on your roster, who you have out there on the field or court, if we're in basketball in any other sport. If you don't communicate, I don't care how talented your roster is, you are not winning games or winning that end goal in a section title if we're talking high school sports. If you have zero communication, you're not working as a team, you're just playing iso ball, you will not come out of that game or anything with a win.
Absolutely, and obviously you as a sideline reporter often for CNS football, you've been out here for lacrosse, you've been to some soccer games as well. How loud is CNS as a whole, as both the fan base and the sidelines for all the teams you've watched?
Kyle, with us not having to have the full house we love to have here at Michael J. Bragman Stadium in a normal sports season, these sidelines are doing a great job to bring the noise that these teams want to do.
And that play, number 21, was a little hot, and the sliding man couldn't get it.
And Kyle, CNS is in a zone. No longer are they in man. They're in a zone, and Rosa is going to try to feed off this zone. You see him here coming a couple plays ago. He came from X. As Rosa gets called for a flag on Kohler right here on the sideline. That's huge for CNS.
Heater will send the ball upfield. The Wildcats riding. And now out to Cy Lieberman to slow things down. As you mentioned, the freshman stepping onto the field. Younger and younger faces featuring on the CNS North Stars lineup.
Here it is. 11, 3, and 16. 2 9th graders and a sophomore.
Cicerelli trying to find some space back out to Elijah Martin.
So what I'm actually seeing from this Jenny defense, see Blakeman, who had a hot streak against these 2 Beagle games, drawing Desco, you have Semino drawing Sam Rosa, the younger brother of the attacksman Alex Rosa, and then Cicerelli drawing that third guy in Garvey.
Blakeman stuffed on defense. The Wildcats with a great defensive stand. Now Tanner Long picking up the ground ball. Ooh, and he sails the ball wide.
The sun.
Cicerelli couldn't get in the other end of it. As you mentioned, Riley, you as a former player, you've had to battle the sun plenty.
The sun, and it's over on that right side, left side, however you're watching the game, over on our opposite end. And the sun plays a huge role until you get into the third and fourth quarter once the sun finally sets. It's hard to make those buddy passes. As Long passed it to Cicerelli, it's kind of a close proximity. It's hard to catch those ball. As a West Jenny goalkeeper down here, look for him not to pass to that side. Look for him to pass to the sidelines with all the players and the coaches standing on it. It's just a sun thing.
So fighting the conditions here at CNS High School, despite the beautiful day, always the angle of that sun. I've been out here on the field for some soccer games as the sun sets, and I've noticed it as well. But, man, it must be a lot tougher for these lacrosse games.
And the ball's so small, and the ball moves in air. The ball flies high, and it gets stuck in the sun. It's one of the hardest things of the game of lacrosse, but it can also benefit you when playing on defense.
Yeah, I'd imagine West Jenny would take that any day of the week. As Ian Leahy rips a shot and puts it in from distance. The North Stars finally getting that fourth goal, and the refs won't wave this one off. It's a 4-2 lead here in the second quarter.
Leahy with 2 goals so far against Jenny. I want to say he had 2 or 3 when we had Jenny here a couple weeks ago. Oh, excuse me, Riley, correct me. He had 1 against Jenny last time they were here at Michael J. Bragman Stadium. But Leahy is a huge part of this North Stars offense when Blakeman, when Cicerelli, and Semino are starting to slow down and be able to get those goals in. Leahy will always step up, only being a sophomore, step up and get those goals in for the North Stars.
Absolutely. Ian Leahy, 13 goals, 1 assist coming into this matchup. He's averaging 1.2 goals per game, so obviously one of those main offensive guys for the North Stars. And on the face-off, a flag in the play, and they'll get to start things off with the ball. So another big face-off win. The North Stars just continue to win at the midfield, which is absolutely massive because they've struggled as of late.
Massive. Face-offs and ground balls win you ball games, not only in this league but in the game of lacrosse. And if I'm CNS, I'm moving the ball around, getting everybody involved.
And Semino to the inside finds the cutting man, and Mason Blakeman puts it away. The North Stars with 2 consecutive goals. They're beginning to separate here early on, Owen.
That was a great find there by Semino. You see Blakeman go from the backside, get behind his man like a backdoor cut almost in basketball, and Semino finds him and he rips one down on that left side past Landry. CNS is starting to maybe pull off a little way in this second quarter.
And for the fans at home, coming into this game, Semino leads the team in assists, which is a no-brainer. But 62% of the team's assists are from Semino. Team has 100 goals on the season. Semino's assisted almost 30% of those. So a third of goals coming from Semino.
Now watch Nolan Firth from that wing just charging in. That dude has some speed, fighting against number 30 for the Wildcats to try and get that face-off win. Wildcats still with the ball loose. Who wants it? Tanner Long will come up with it. No, still a fight for the ground ball at midfield. Wow, this is just an absolute war. And number 5, Nick Louise, will get away with it. And a whistle on the play.
Kyle,
and a timeout, excuse me.
That's just like the same timeout that Gatto took on the other side when Joe Green was getting pressured and able to control the ball. Sean Smith saw it for West Jenny. Once they were able to control that ball, get control, gain the possession, he wanted to call a timeout, try and get things more in control, get the gears start rotating a little bit smoother, get some WD-40 on that offense, get the balls in control.
I mean, look at this. CNS, the sidelines, they're electric. Up 5 minutes left until halftime. You win and you're in. You lose and you go home. I think the players know. Kyle, I think the players know.
Gatto and company yelling at the refs there. They want every single play they can get. And now the North Stars with a 3-goal lead. They're not going to give up these stupid possessions if the refs aren't going to oblige. And that's what Gatto's mentality is down there in the sideline, Riley, it appears.
And Gatto was arguing with the refs because West Jenny had possession, lost possession, picked it back up, but they took too long to get into the box as what it seemed like. But that's why West Jenny called the timeout, as they picked it up, called timeout because they weren't making it in time.
So the West Genesee Wildcats will get away with that face-off win and possession after that timeout. I'd say a very smart timeout. Sean Smith finally taking the time to get possession right there. Sean Smith, the head coach of this West Genesee team, who was so successful. He's had nearly 12 years of experience at this school. And, despite the past success, The Wildcats with their first losing season since 1967. Nonetheless, they'll still grab that 3rd seed, possibly 4th seed, depending how the North Stars finish off their season. And so obviously the North Stars, as I mentioned, trying to get that 400 record. They need this win in order to get into sectionals. And Riley, as we mentioned it, the sideline has made it very apparent because they are so locked into this game.
And Coach Wilbur, the old coach for the historic OCC men's lacrosse team, is hyping this team up on the sideline. He knows, everybody knows how important this game is, not only for CNS, but you have to go back on the West Jenny side. This is important for West Jenny too. I mean, this is their first losing season, even if they win their next 2 games, as RJ Davis is making a huge stand on defense since 1967.
Cutting man to the inside, and it's Tully, I believe, putting it away.
That'll
No,
be-
excuse me, that's number 32, Liam Burns, putting the goal away. 11 goals, 4 assists coming into this game. He's a midfielding captain for the Wildcats, and now it's a 5-3 ball game with 4 minutes to go here in the second quarter.
Kyle, a simple slip and score. Slip and score. That's what West Jenny did.
As opposed to, kind of the same thing that Blakeman did earlier on, just finding the opening and then getting the cutting man with Semino, and they put it away. So some slip and scores just traded back and forth between the Wildcats and the North Stars, and all of a sudden it's back to a 2-goal ball game with 4 minutes to go here in the second quarter. Oh, and how big is this face-off?
This face-off, is huge for either team. It would look like CNS will come away with it.
No, still a fight for it in the midfield, and now Nolan Firth will pick it up. Still struggling to maintain possession. They'll drop it off, and now back up to midfield. It's a great pass from number 21, Joseph Green.
But if you're the attackman, you have to get open, because this is what will happen with the short stick offense and defensive middies for CNS.
And now RJ Davis, a good job of turning around and getting the ball back upfield. That's Ian Leahy on the receiving end. Now back out to Elijah Martin. Martin rolling out to his left side. He'll have to turn back around. A good defensive stand from that defender for the Wildcats. Ooh, getting a stick on it is number 5, Nick Louise. And now a loose ball right near the cage. The North Stars still trying to get it. There's number 19, Tyler Mazzoli. He'll finally pick it back up in some space for Anthony Semino. Right out to the cage, spinning back around. Ooh, spins and fires right into the stick of Bryce Landry. It'll deflect back out, and the North Stars will still maintain possession. If Ian Leahy can pick it up at least.
And it was a smart shot by Semino. If no one's going to play you, take it to the rack. Someone closes in on you, take 2 steps back, fire it again. Hit off the goalie's helmet, but it was a tremendous shot. But it's the IQ that Semino has on this field.
Absolutely. And Owen, I've noticed that, Anthony Semino's aggression to just taking it towards the rack far more often these last few games has kind of helped out the offense for the North Stars. How important do you think that is in order for him as the leading assist guy to kind of add on to his, cornucopia of advantages in the on the field? Excuse me, I'm getting a little too dictionary-ish up here in the booth.
Expanding your vocabulary,
Expanding my
Kyle.
vocabulary.
I see. So Semino
How important
needs.
is that?
Semino is that main assist guy. He's a floor general or field general, I should say, in lacrosse terms. He always finds that out man, but also he needs to find his own shots. He's a very skilled attacksman with assists and goal and shooting the ball. If he finds that balance of finding his teammates, also finding shots for himself, CNS's offense will be very successful as long as he gets everyone involved, not just finding his main duo partner in Cicerelli.
And so with 3 minutes, 13 seconds to go here in the second quarter, the North Stars still maintain a lead. We've seen it in nearly every game this season. The North Stars can hold that lead in the second half, but it kind of begins to dwindle away in that second half. So obviously the North Stars just need to maintain this lead for all 4 quarters. And they've struggled to do so, Riley. That's the problem. An all 4 quarters thing hasn't necessarily been the North Stars' kind of motto this year. They certainly need to encapsulate it for such a game such as today.
Finish, halftime out, or go over, because there's no locker room, go over to the corner of the field, talk as a team, and play 4 quarters. That's the game of lacrosse. You win games, you play 4 quarters. And that's really it's what it comes down to, completing all 4 quarters in any sport, but especially lacrosse.
And now the North Stars with a chance to continue to separate. Mason Cicerelli back out to the top. There's Mason Blakeman. Blakeman was clutch as of late in his latest Beeville game. He put a few goals away.
And Cicerelli's not on the board for points, but he's been there at the right times. I mean, for CNS, you find your matchups. Move the ball around, but move off ball too, because You know, as being a short stick defenseman and knowing the defense, it's so hard to guard the off-ball movement.
Cicerelli turns around and fires and puts it away over the stick of Bryce Landry. The North Stars continue to separate a 6-3 lead.
Kyle and Riley, Mason Cicerelli making us eat our own words up here in the booth. Coming around, as Riley just mentioned a few seconds ago, Cicerelli has no points so far in this game, and now he goes through, rips one at that top right corner on Landry, coming around the goalie's right shoulder of X, and finds that top right corner, as I just said, giving CNS that 6-3 lead, as we heard Semino with the assist.
And now,
Who
of
else?
course, Semino, who else would get that assist, of course, kind of the floor general, as you mentioned. And so now Tanner Long at faceoff against Sirocco. This is a huge faceoff for the North Stars to pick up. And, of course, as I say that, the Wildcats get the win on it. No, a penalty on the play. The North Stars will have possession. So a massive faceoff win in favor of the North Stars as Elijah Martin will roll out to pick up the ball. Now a chance for the North Stars to just continue to separate. This is the separation they need. After a huge faceoff win and a goal, they just need to continue to, kind of keep their foot on the gas, it appears, Riley.
And Kyle, that's what we call a cup check in the game of lacrosse. Wear a cup, but Long sold it. And now they reverse the call and give it back to West Jenny, but I thought that should be CNS ball. But if you're West Jenny, try to get momentum going into the second half. Dodge the short stick defensive middies if you're CNS. Get everybody involved and move off the ball, because CNS cannot play that. Their defense struggles with that. Make them play the length and width of the field.
Meanwhile, the Wildcats, after a reversal of calls from the referees who have been questionable as of late, have a chance to bring this game back within reach. A shot tipped away from number 14, Nolan Firth. Another great defensive stand from the North Stars early on. The Wildcats will maintain possession.
And Firth is such a hard defender to go against because he's always active on the hands.
Meanwhile, another shot ripped wide. Giovanni Heater trying to roll back on the get-back call. The Wildcats will still maintain possession.
And Louise has no goals, no assists, and that's who Firth is matched up against. It's just so crucial. Who is Firth matched up against? One of the top defensemen in Section 3, if not the best defenseman in Section 3.
Wildcats rotating the ball around. Another shot from deep, and it goes in. The Wildcats from distance bringing this game back within reach. It's a 6-4 ball game with 1:24 to go.
Kyle, we see Sam Mincabelli there get that goal in for the Wildcats, making it 6-4, as you just mentioned. But Riley has said many times in these recent Boys Lacrosse broadcasts, CNS's defense they're running as of late is going to give up those outside shots. They're willing to give up those long, deep shots as they run this sort of man-zone defense. As either Mincabelli from deep finds that corner of the goal, getting Jenny their 4th goal of the game.
Now Tanner Long stepping in for his brother Aiden Long at faceoff. They let the ball to pop out, but the Wildcats will win the ground ball. Excuse me as I say that. R.J. Davis picking up the ball with pace, too. Rolling to the rack. He'll go back out to Mason Cicerelli, who just barely picks up the ball in the backfield. With some hard defense from number 16 for the Wildcats, Jack Garvey, one of those number 1 defenders.
And if you're CNS with 1 minute left, find your matchups. Look for Semino, look for Cicerelli, and cut. Look at all these midfielders up here on the 30, 25-yard line. If an attackman gets it behind the goal, cut hard. Cut hard with your head up and your stick up.
45 seconds to go. The North Stars taking their time trying to put this final ball away. As I say that, Blakeman, trying to roll to the rack. He'll go back out and settle things down at X with Mason Cicerelli.
I'm looking to see CNS attack here around 15, 20 seconds left on that clock. Then they'll go and shoot.
Cicerelli passing to the inside, just wide of Mason Blakeman. They get the ball to pop back out as the Semino fights for it. Ooh,
You have to go for the ball in that
hit
situation.
from behind. The Wildcats still fighting for it at midfield. Whistles on the play. North Stars will maintain possession. 15 seconds to go. The North Stars with a chance to grab that 3-goal lead back. Elijah Martin spinning around from distance, rips off the stick of Bryce Landry, still fighting for it. 5 seconds to go, and the Wildcats will beat this one out and just getting away with it. Wildcats down 2 goals as the clock buzzes coming into the second half. The North Stars maintain a 6-4 lead. What a way to start it for the North Stars, but don't leave just yet. Trying to fight for that section spot. We'll be back in just a moment. Welcome back to the North Star Network.
Kyle.
What a way to start off the second half. Welcome back to the North Star Network. As the North Star started with a 6-4 lead, they've been red hot early on. Cicerelli and company trying to get some goals away, as he only started with one, and Semino assisting a few. So obviously these guys started red hot. And then for the West Jenny side, obviously these guys trying to get going. Nick Luis has been a little quiet. Of course, Landry, fantastic with 6 saves and 6 goals allowed. He's been sharp. Meanwhile, on the other end, Giovanni Heater, 6 saves, 4 goals allowed. So a better percentage than Bryce Landry, who's the Oswego commit. What a way to start it for the North Stars. They've been fantastic on face-offs as well, with 7 wins to West Genesee's 2. So that's absolutely pivotal for the North Stars. When it comes to West Jenny, what changes do they have to make to get back into this game, Riley?
For West Jenny to get back into this game, you have to play your brand of lacrosse, and I just don't think that they're doing that. You have to move with off the ball. But you know what, Kyle? The thing that's a difference maker in this game is face-offs. Putting Firth on the LSM as he picks up that ball. That is a difference maker in this game. CNS face-offs and the ground balls, that's separating CNS from West Jenny right now.
Right now, the North Stars, 80% of the face-offs have been won in their favor, due to guys like RJ Davis and North Star and Nolan Firth, who have just been fantastic on those wings cutting in.
And that's a smart play. It's a hockey play. Kicking it right to Cicerelli. So smart. See if Cicerelli takes it to the rack.
Cicerelli trying to roll out to the right side, but Garvey says otherwise, stuffing him there. He'll go back out to X. And, man, this sideline has just been very loud, Owen.
Yeah, Kyle, this energy down there that we are hearing from up in the booth, I can only imagine what would happen if we had someone down there able to hear what's actually being said by all these players other than just the oohs and ahs and all the loud chants we're hearing from both sidelines. This is a great Section 3 ACAC Metro matchup as we see the ball go out of bounds there.
Elijah Martin ripping that one wide. Landry couldn't get his stick on it. The North Stars will maintain possession on the get-back call.
Look how the midfielders get high when Cicerelli takes it off from X. That's a question mark dodge.
Cicerelli dodging question mark, just as Riley said, turning around to his right side and ripping that one wide. North Stars will still maintain possession. And it's Mason Blakeman, to start things off.
Again, watch for Cicerelli to set a pick for Semino. Midfielders high, cut down. Semino will find you.
Blakeman left side. He'll have to turn around to his left now, trying to get in front of the crease. Now to Ian Leahy.
And if I'm CNS, that's just not a matchup I want. Leahy drawing up against a long stick midfielder. I mean, Leahy's a left-hander, and the whole section knows.
Cicerelli still can't penetrate his way in. Instead, turns and fires a fight for possession on the get-back call. And Anthony Semino will maintain possession for the North Stars.
CNS to come out of a win here at Michael J. Bragman Stadium and their home closer on the season. We need them to stay consistent on offense and on defense.
And Semino, on the question mark dodge, put that one just wide.
And West
Genesee will maintain possession.
That's
a huge
hustle,
win on the
Kyle.
get-back call.
That hustle from Desco there was huge, beating out Blakeman with that long stick, getting the longest reach for the West Jenny Wildcats there, getting them the ball. That's a huge get for the Wildcats.
Ethan Desco, the main defender for the West Genesee Wildcats, and helps out on the offensive end as well with 1 goal and 1 assist on the season.
And Nolan Firth is just so active. His stick is so active as he's
And look at
matched up
this
on
matchup
Rosa.
right here. Rosa
And
gets
that's legal.
stuffed by Nolan Firth. He's kind of a brick wall tonight, ain't he? And he'll pass back out to Giovanni Heater, who will now send the ball upfield.
Nolan Firth doing a fantastic job shutting down whoever Gatto or whoever else the head coach, or not his head coach, whatever coach tells him to do. Whoever they will send Firth at is going to be shut down on that possession we see there. Rosa only having 1 point in that first half. That is huge for the CNS defense, not letting Rosa only have 1 point in that first half.
Elijah Martin rushes to the rack. Instead, he'll set things back up. Back out to Bassessi, who passes to Lieberman.
And this is that third, second midfield line for CNS. Look for the offense to come from the attackments when this midfield line's out there.
Ball sailing over the head of Mason Blakeman and Tanner Long to pick it up. These young faces back out in the field for the North Stars, Riley.
And if you're a midfielder in this situation,
pass to the inside, just sails wide, deflected. The North Stars still fighting for it. The Wildcats will come up with it. So another assist attempt from Semino, just sails wide. The Wildcats now rolling up field. To the top. Ooh, just missing number 4 for the Wildcats, Sam Mankabelli. Clarkson commit with 6 goals, 7 assists in the season. And the ball will sail out of bounds. The North Stars will have possession. So another error traded away from the Wildcats. And now the North Stars with a chance to kind of recap on their mistakes. In case you missed it in the first half, the North Stars starting red hot with a 6-4 lead coming into it. And still the case a few minutes into this second half now. Cicerelli.
And Cicerelli's been trying to find this matchup. Not only if it's the matchup that he wants, but he's been trying to beat it. And Cicerelli, we know up here, is a gamer. And he will get his goals tonight.
Now to Lieberman, one of the smaller athletes in the field, but again, kind of like Elijah Martin, uses his speed to his advantage. Cimino setting things up for Max. He'll go out to Blakeman. Blakeman, a guy who can definitely dodge to his right side, right in front of the crease and put it away.
And if I'm Blakeman, maybe one dodge, but move the ball. Move the ball.
Now trying to find his way to the crease. Ooh, swim move to the inside. The ball pops out. A good job by Garvey to get that one. Still loose. Tanner Long picking it up. He gets hit from behind. No call on the play. Still a fight for it.
And in a game, you win and you're in. You lose and you're out. The refs are letting them play.
Cicerelli still fighting for it in the backfield, and he picks it up. No, it's still loose. Man, the Wildcats get away with the win, and now they'll finally roll up field. Now Nolan Firth, face guard on that. They'll send it upfield instead. The Wildcats avoiding Firth at all costs, it appears.
And Cicerelli on the 30, 40-yard line right now broke his stick.
The ball's still loose. And that's Joe Green, or Josh Kubala, excuse me, getting the win on defense right there. The North Stars with another consecutive defensive stand. With this 6-4 lead, they need to get every defensive stand they can. And now back out to the top. It's Anthony Cimino.
And John Carter is now checked into the game because Cicerelli had broken his stick.
Yeah, Mason Cicerelli's stick, excuse me, snapped right in half.
And I'm not even sure if he has a backup stick. Maybe in the locker room.
Now Tyler Mazzoli.
Looks like Cicerelli's heading that way to the locker room, like Riley just said, maybe to find that backup stick. Because that is trouble for the North Stars if Cicerelli does not have a stick tonight.
And that's one of the things that happens. You break your shaft, but you're in love with your lacrosse hat. You know, you have to switch it out and put it on your other shaft.
So number 19, Tyler Mazzoli, slowing things down for the North Stars. We'll go out to the backfield. That's Mason Blakeman. Blakeman spinning around, dodging around that crease. He'll go out to the top, Elijah Martin. Martin still looking for some space, guarded closely by number 7 for the Wildcats. Rolling out to his right side. He has some space. No cutting man. He'll go out to X instead. That's Anthony Cimino. North Stars, when they have Cimino on X, just trying to set up those plays. Now to the top, and they put it away. The North Stars gaining that lead, and Cimino's fired up. And so is the rest of this North Star squad as they grab a 7-4 lead with 5 minutes to go here in the third quarter. What a way to start it for the North Stars.
CNS controlling this pace, controlling the speed of the game, the tempo is their key to winning this game. Now I'm sending over to Riley for that instant replay to look at this and break down this play.
We'll see if we can get a replay up here in the booth. A great job by Elijah Martin to put that one away, assisted by Anthony Cimino to start off this second half.
Maybe no replay, but I remember the play. Cimino has it in the backfield by accident. Martin just simply cuts down.
There we see it.
Here's the instant replay. Cimino has his man tied up at X. Martin comes down, hits it. I mean, that's just a simple cut. Straight north to south. Lose the defender, keep going, and Cimino will find you if you're open.
And the North Stars off the face-off win, put another one away. An 8-4 lead, they double it. The North Stars continue to roll here in the second half. And who else but number 21 for the North Stars, Joseph Green, to give us a surprise goal with the long stick.
Number 21, Joe Green there, coming off the face-off win from that wing, from that backside, and with that long stick, comes in and rips one in for the North Stars. His only second goal of the season, I want to say. CNS is having their way with this game right now. They're controlling the game, and that is why they should come out of this game with a W.
That's Joe Green's second goal of the season. No assist to add to it. A pure defender at heart. sails that one upfield, and kind of like his Nolan Firth impression, just goes coast to coast with it and puts it away. A clutch goal for the North Stars to continue to press their foot on the gas. And the Wildcats finally, to slow down the momentum of the North Stars, get a face-off win. There's River Udamul passing up to number 5, Nick Louise.
CNS cannot let this game get out of their hands. They got to stay dialed in, stay locked in. Just act like this game is still 0-0, even like you're losing. You got to stay dialed in and keep that defensive pressure up and keep up that goal scoring on offense.
And one of the things we haven't seen all season is CNS cannot play a third quarter.
And a great save by Giovanni Heater on Braden McNeil's effort to turn around and put a goal away. It'll sail out of bounds, and the North Stars will not get possession, as the Wildcats will reset as Nick Louise passes it upfield to number 14, Joseph Delaney.
And one of the craziest thing was CNS just hit 2 goals in a row.
Oh, and another fantastic save by Giovanni Heater. Number 5, Nick Louise, trying to put the goal away. His 20th of the season it would be. So we get a hit in the backfield, and Giovanni Heater gets it. A flag on the play. The North Stars will play through it.
North Stars should be a man up after this play is called dead.
The ball will roll out of bounds. And a flag on the play. They'll have to reset things. We hear the crowd shouting as it appears there is a man down now. The North Stars with a huge opportunity to continue to separate.
And CNS is having fun while playing lacrosse, just something we just have not seen this year unless they play against Liverpool. And we all know that Liverpool is not a very good team this year, but CNS just has not been, this just hasn't been the CNS team we've seen all year.
Now the North Stars just running up and down this field. And you know they're having fun when Joseph Green puts away that last goal. These guys are just trying to do everything they can. Now the North Stars to start things off with that perhaps an even more positive message to this second half. Elijah Martin, that initial goal scorer here in the second half, passes off to Mazzoli. Now to Cimino. Cimino to the inside. They get the assist. It's Cicerelli with the 4th consecutive goal in this half. The North Stars are rolling right now, Owen.
Cimino alley-oops that up to Cicerelli, comes down with the slam dunk over Bryce Landry in that goal. CNS is pulling away with this game, and that's just amazing to see out of this North Stars offense, which we have not seen at any time in any game this year except for against, like Riley said, against Liverpool.
As the sun sets here at Michael J. Bragman Stadium, things are just heating up. The North Stars with a 9-4 lead with 3.5 to go here in the third quarter.
And you can't stop if you're CNS. You just cannot stop. Keep going at full tilt because this is deteriorating this West Genesee defense.
And now Tanner Long on faceoff, a 2nd consecutive faceoff loss. Nonetheless, despite the momentum for the North Stars, as Nick Louise gets the ball and he'll roll upfield just past Anthony Cimino.
Now with Riley's favorite statistic to bring up, North Stars have 5 assists in this game, and guess who has all 5? No one else but Anthony Cimino. Riley's favorite numbers to always bring up pre-game before a game, I should say.
That's as facilitating as it gets for this offense. I mean, Cimino feeds for everybody.
It is, and Cimino is, wow. I had to take a moment.
As a shot rips wide, that's Nick Louise from distance.
Nick Louise still without a point. I thought Louise might have had his first goal.
He's been pretty quiet tonight, that's true. Now to the top. They are looking from distance. The Wildcats looking to kind of shut up the momentum of the North Stars.
And that's just kind of what you're going to see out of this zone man kind of defense.
From distance, someone got a stick on it. It sails out of bounds. The Wildcats will still have possession. Now to the top, Nick Louise, still looking from distance.
And they're just going to run a simple wheel. Keep coming, and they wheel it right on this left side.
Mankabelli feeds to the inside, and Udamul can't get his stick on it. He picks it back up. He'll roll back out to the top, and now Joseph Delaney looking for a chance.
And it's going to be the same thing on this other side. It's just a simple wheel.
There's going to pass around that outside wheel, like Riley saying, in the circle, you could say. Just waiting for a hole to open up in the zone.
You come off the crease.
And there's a shot from distance, and the West Genesee Wildcats silence the crowd here at Michael J. Bragman Stadium, setting up their rebuttal for the North Stars momentum. It's a 9-5 ball game with 2 minutes to go here in the third quarter.
And Kyle, McNeil with the goal, Rosa with the assist. I mean, it's just a simple wheel. I feel like I was a broken record on that last play. But McNeil comes from the crease, comes to the hash marks on the 20-yard line where we've seen CNS's defense, it's detrimental. That's where CNS gives up most of their goals. Simple wheel, pop off from the crease, And it's just an easy goal. Step down shot for West Jenny.
Now West Jenny with their third consecutive face-off win and finally building momentum off of it as they get a huge goal from Braden McNeil there from distance too. We've noticed it, Riley. These teams are not afraid to shoot from distance against the North Stars.
And when you play in a zone, those are the shots that you want to take. But they're also just not. You have to play defense on those shots. And McNeil had no pressure on the hands. No pressure. It's an easy step-down shot, something that you practice after practice, during practice. It's a simple shooting drill.
Now the Wildcats passing things around. Number 3, Jack Mellon checks back into the game for the Wildcats and sits a man down too as RJ Davis slips on his feet. Now back out to X. It's number 2, River Udamul. He'll go out to Nick Louise, who took a shot from distance last time, right at that same spot.
And it's that Louise Firth matchup that West Jenny just cannot bite off anything. Now Louise is matched up with Kubala.
And you see him trying to dodge right to the crease as a result of that. Firth not matched up on him. He passes across, and that's Udamul, excuse me, not having a stick on it. And then RJ Davis pokes it loose. Can he get the win on possession? Still fighting for it, and nearly the ball sails out of bounds. They will give it to the Wildcats on the call. No, it goes the other way, excuse me. These refs, they have been confusing me all night.
Nah, I think they're confusing themselves. I really do. They call plays, and then they reverse them and call them the other way.
And now Nolan Firth will roll the ball upfield for the North Stars on that right side.
And Linton matched up against Firth, and Linton he's a 2-goal, 1-assist kind of guy in these last 2 games against CNS.
No, Firth has the ball pop loose. It appears he was trying to kind of toss it off to number 22, Ian Leahy, and a hit from behind from Blakeman, a flag on the play. The Wildcats will maintain possession. It's just a matter of if Blakeman's going out or not on that play.
It looks like Blakeman there talking his talk as he's trying to kind of show dominance on that long stick for the Wildcats. They're trying to show, like, hey, you're on my turf. You're not doing that against us. But, hey, he got called for the foul. Looks like CNS will be the man down.
These boys are still fired up, though. Man down, man up, whatever it may be. You know, flags flying all over the place. It's been an aggressive mashup, and it's just as physical as it gets here at Michael J. Bragman Stadium.
It's that flag that probably did not need to happen. If you're Blakeman, you probably did not need to push him out of bounds. He was probably going out of bounds by himself and probably wouldn't have generated really any offense as it's on their own end. But now with 12 seconds, West Jenny's going to hold the ball, play for the 4th quarter, start man up, go into the huddle, and that's exactly what Sean Smith is going to talk about. How do we generate offense in this man up going into the 4th quarter?
And just as you say it, the clock buzzes, and we have 12 minutes of action left, a 4-goal ball game in favor of the North Stars, a 9-5 ball game, and 2 minutes until we get this final quarter, Riley. You know, you said it earlier, all 4 quarters. How do the North Stars keep their foot on the gas? They've been losing the past few face-offs, but still maintain this lead. What changes do they have to make in order to maintain this lead?
Energy. Keep the energy. And the energy that I'm talking about, it's actually a sideline. And that's something we haven't seen this year. It's the energy on the sideline that translate onto the field. Those guys that are down on that bench, everybody has a purpose on the field. Everybody. Doesn't matter if you play the whole game or if you're a guy that does not even see the field. Everybody has a purpose on this team. And someone's purpose is to hype up the team. And those are what those guys are doing right now. They're hyping up their players that are playing on the field. So it's a purpose thing, and it's an energy thing. And that energy from the sidelines carried onto the field. You're up 4 going into the 4th quarter. Kill this man up, and be careful, though, because there's 15 seconds left on this man up. Somebody will be coming. I don't know, West Jenny every team plays it different. You might have a guy who's on that 50-yard line who sprints in. You might have a guy that comes from the box. I don't know what West Jenny's going to do, but that's the thing that CNS might give up, because he's going to be running in for CNS. Where do I go? Where do I go? Crash. West Jenny might capitalize off this.
And when it comes to the energy, as you mentioned, Owen, who do you see providing that on the sideline or on the field for the North Stars? I've noticed personally that when RJ Davis gets in the field, he provides a spark.
I just want to jump in 1 second. Kohler is going to be released from the 50-yard line in 15 seconds, and that's where it's going to come from.
That's where you see it coming from. Owen, how about you? What guys in this field do you think provide for the North Stars as Giovanni Heater tries to get the jumping save and the Wildcats put it away? A quick start and a 9-6 lead.
Kyle, I think any of these juniors and sophomores, anyone that's not a senior really gets, other than Andre Davis obviously, gets these people going once they step on the field. Especially they love it when they see Mason Cicerelli, Cy Lieberman, Tanner Long, all these kids get on the field and then start doing their thing, scoring goals and winning faceoffs if you're in Tanner Long's position. And then providing that energy from the sideline. I see a lot out of Caleb Martin, Aiden Long when he was out with injury, and then also Kyle Tom, who's unfortunately out with a thumb injury, I'd like to say, and Jaden Greco, that senior defenseman.
And there's Louise's first points of the night.
So Louise finally getting his first point of the night, as Riley mentioned. He's been very quiet, matched up on Nolan Firth, who's that #1 defender for the North Stars, headed to Hobart, alongside Alex Rosa, who's also a competitor on the field tonight for the Wildcats.
It's interesting to me that Firth is matched up on Louise, but Rosa also hasn't been having the night, and he's not even matched up against Firth.
Meanwhile, Elijah Martin rolls the ball upfield, circles around, and he'll dish it off to Ian Leahy.
Leahy has to attack here with that short stick on him. This has to be an attack possession for Leahy.
Yeah, and when you have Louise playing defense, I 100% agree. Attack from the wing. And if I'm Leahy, I'm probably going to be coming to this side. He's trying to set the pick, but your left-handed player come to this side of the field.
Now Tyler Mazzoli, the midfielding senior for the North Stars, trying to make things happen. Struggling to penetrate on this defense. He'll dish it off to Anthony Cimino. Cimino getting the screen from Mason Blakeman, trying to find the cutting man. Two guys rolling in right there, Mason Cicerelli and Elijah Martin. Instead dishes it off to Ian Leahy. Getting a man down and sails the ball just wide.
And he absorbed the contact on that one, Kyle. He absorbed the contact, finished through the play. That's what Leahy did. Not a bad shot. Get it again.
And now a chance for the North Stars to kind of reset. Cimino again trying to find that cutting man, rolling around the left side, Elijah Martin's screen. Back out to the top, there's Ian Leahy. Now Cicerelli.
And if you're CNS, it's all about finding your matchups and play smart. Play smart because you're up 3, but lacrosse is a game of runs. And CNS has not put 4 quarters together all season.
Ian Leahy rolling around the left side. Still trying to find that opening. The North Stars taking their time, offering a rebuttal to the Wildcats, trying to take back that 4-goal lead, which I think is just enough padding for them to finish this fourth quarter. As the Wildcats poke the ball loose, and the Wildcats maintaining their momentum, rolling the ball upfield, finding the open man to the top. Oh, they get a stick on it. The North Stars still fighting for it. Who wants it in the midfield? The Wildcats will pick it back up, but a deflection again from Elijah Martin. The ball rolls out of bounds, and they keep it in. Who wants it? My goodness.
This is not CNS's quarter to fall apart. If you fall apart in the fourth, you just take yourself completely out of the game.
Ooh, pipes a save, or perhaps that was Giovanni Heater's foot. Whatever it was, they get away with it, and the Wildcats still can't maintain possession. It goes back in field, and the North Stars finally picking the ball back up. And now it's Elijah Martin with some space. Now to Cimino. He had some space. Instead, he dodges back out to Ian Leahy from distance. That one sails over the crossbar.
That's a far shot, but a bunch of action. A bunch of action that we've seen all year in this league.
I think Leahy there saw momentum going after that ground ball win for the North Stars and said, hey, momentum's on our side. Let's rip this shot in. If not, I see my guys back on X, ready for that get back, as we saw there. Shot goes long, but we got the ball back there.
I'm losing my breath up here in the booth. These guys are fired up, and it's just back and forth between the Wildcats and the North Stars here at Michael J. Bragman Stadium. A 9-6 ball game, 9 minutes to go here in the final quarter of this matchup. Time has just flied by. Cimino dodges in. Ooh, and sails that one just wide. Joseph, number 14. Gets a stick on it for the Wildcats, but it deflects back out, and Elijah Martin will have possession. Back out to Cicerelli. He fakes the pass to the inside, rips it, and that one sails way wide.
That was a hard shot. That was a hard shot that if it hit cage, I'm seeing that go top corner.
That would have been quite the shot, and a punctual one at that, as the clock is ticking away here in the final quarter, and the North Stars need to separate. Pass the inside.
They're gonna call Blakeman. That's probably his 4th one tonight.
Moving pick on Blakeman, you're right. And Bassesi was there on the receiving end of that assist, that possible assist at least from Anthony Cimino. Instead, the Wildcats get away with a huge possession, and the North Stars again in the final quarter are looking to kind of dwindle away and crumble apart. They need to start stringing together some possessions, Owen.
Yeah, Kyle, you can't fall apart. You've gone scoreless for almost 4 minutes now. You just can't let that happen, as West Jenny is starting to control these faceoffs, controlling the ground balls, and you're just not scoring the ball in offense.
Another fantastic save from Heater. A clutch one at that, and now a fight for possession. The ball rolling out of bounds, and they'll give it to the North Stars.
Huge play there from this junior there, Caleb Martin, the long stick, beating out that short stick, sprinting out, almost dodging him, hitting him with his elbow with his leg, just getting him out of the way so he's able to get the ball there for the North Stars. Huge play there from Caleb Martin.
Hustle has it here at Michael J. Bragman Stadium. The North Stars maintain possession, trying to continue their momentum. Now they'll pass a long ball upfield. The Wildcats are riding, and it's Elijah Martin with some space. He has some green in front of him. Instead, he dishes it off to Anthony Semino.
Those ones are hard, Kyle. That's actually Cy Lieberman.
Yeah, man, these double numbers. That's Cy Lieberman rolling up the field.
Kyle, you might be seeing double tonight.
We see that young midfield out there tonight with
They look the
Besessi.
same from up here, those younger players.
Besessi, the sophomore, Leahy, the sophomore, and Lieberman, the freshman. We have a young midfield out here in this possession here for the North Stars.
Ooh, and a short pass sails out of bounds. Besessi cannot afford to make those mistakes down the stretch, Owen.
Those are the hardest passes to catch in lacrosse. Like, you have to literally predict where the ball's going to go, and it's so hard. It's those passes, honestly.
They've
If
got
I'm
a pinch
Lieberman,
here.
I'm probably going to run some more green space, open space, and then make that pass.
Nolan Firth barely catching up to this Wildcat. That's number 3, Jack Mellon, rolling upfield with some speed. We'll go back out to the top. And now to X.
And look for Tully to get a run. Or even Linton. Linton's hasn't had any numbers tonight.
And from distance, puts it away. What a shot, and a punctual one at that. The clock ticking away with 6 minutes to go. The Wildcats clawing their way back. It's a 9-7 ball game.
Linton there around the 30, 25-yard line is able to get a step past Reynolds Davis and rips one around his right side. That right sidearm shot finds the top side of the goal past Giovanni Heater, making this game 9-7.
Man, the hopes of the North Stars crumbling away at this rate. The Wildcats will find themselves back in it. And again, the North Stars have to win this game. If they don't, they will not find themselves in sectionals. They need that 400 record to find themselves in sectionals. And obviously that's the ultimate goal here.
And if you're CNS, you just had a bad defensive stance, but it's just not those players that normally play defense.
And finally, a face-off win for the North Stars, so momentum in their favor. Let's see if Anthony Semino and company can kind of flip this thing around.
And if I'm CNS, I'm not necessarily holding the ball, but I'm holding the ball with a purpose, and it's to find my matchups.
Now, number 22, Ian Leahy, back out to Elijah Martin, who's certainly going to take his time setting things up. Dodging to the right side.
CNS can just not afford a turnover here as they're trying to let this clock draw out.
Semino turning around, and he gets it bottom corner. A huge goal, and look at him. He's fired up.
Riley and Kyle, I was saying CNS cannot afford a turnover here as we see Semino come around. Riley, let's see what you saw in that play and break it down for us.
What I saw, are we going to get the instant replay on this? What I saw was Martin moves it to Semino. No one's covering Semino. Right? No one's covering him. So go to the goal. You're left-handed. That's your strong side. Martin, beautiful. Just kind of skipped past it to Semino. He comes around the crease and scores. If no one's going to play you, go to the rack.
Fantastic job on the replay right there from our producer, Spencer Conjal. And Riley breaking it down. I mean, obviously his left side, his strong side, he puts it away. And a huge goal for Anthony Semino, just going to his roots. Rolling around to his left side and putting away a huge one. And now a 3-goal ball game in favor of the North Stars. 6 minutes to go here in the final quarter. The North Stars need every goal they can get as they're trying to find themselves in sectionals.
Semino with 7 points already in this game. 2 goals, 5 assists. Huge game from Semino as they try to close out this season and make their way into sectionals, as Kyle just said.
Joseph Delaney trying to find some space.
If you're CNS, slides probably are coming early when Davis is guarding the ball.
Nick Louise back out to Joseph Delaney, spinning around. Turning, firing, puts it wide. Wildcats will maintain possession. 5.5 to go here in the final quarter. On the reset, they'll go back out to X.
This is hard to guard. Don't leave your teammates stranded to dry on an island. Slide needs to come.
Man's hot right there as number 20 couldn't stay up with it. And on the deflection, it appears Giovanni Heater might have gotten a stick on it.
And that
sails
play,
out of bounds.
Even though he didn't score, that's a play because on offense, you can predict where to go.
And a gaff in the midfield. R.J. Davis will pick it up. Rolling upfield. Blakeman misses on the pass, Back out to Anthony Semino, and now a chance to slow things down, for the North Stars.
Honestly, call me crazy, but that might have been one of the best things to happen to CNS because they could have pushed that ball, shot it and missed, and West Jenny backs it up. So for Blakeman not to catch that ball and move it to Semino might have been one of the best things that could have happened to CNS.
And now Elijah Martin dodging to the right side. He'll go off to Mason Blakeman. Blakeman rolling around the backfield, around X. Gets the pick from Mason Cicerelli. Spinning around his right side. He's trying to find some space. Ooh, gets the ball poked loose. The Wildcats with a great defensive stand. Can they offer a rebuttal? Still fighting for it.
And if you're Blakeman, you have to run through your passes. It's just running through your passes. Don't stop your feet.
Man down in the field. A flag on the play.
I think
the Wildcats will win possession on that one. So only a 3-goal ball game. The ball poked loose again at the midfield, but no offsides call. Wildcats straight to the rack with some space and a fantastic save by Giovanni Heater. He's been clutch as of late. The Wildcats pick up the loose ball.
And this is a matchup I'm also looking for. Look to attack on Mazzoli.
That's Braden McNeil on Tyler Mazzoli right there. Rolling around Axe, trying to find the cutting man. Out to the top of the cage, puts the ball away. The Wildcats offering a response finally, and it's back to only a 2-goal ball game.
It looks like it was number 2 there, River Udmo, getting the goal in for the Wildcats. That's a huge goal with only 3:46 left, putting them down 2. CNS needs to stay dialed in, stay locked in. You got to keep winning these faceoffs, keep winning those ground balls, because that will keep you with this lead and take you to that victory when that clock zeroes out.
And everything falls to a hush here at Michael J. Bragman Stadium as the Wildcats silence the crowd, Riley.
McNeil's having one of the best nights of the season. 3 goals, 1 assist, 1 goal in the first matchup, 2 assists in the second matchup.
And on the loose ball push, I couldn't tell which foul that was, but the North Stars will get the win on the face-off, and a huge one at that. For face-offs, the North Stars have 10 wins to only 3 losses they've had all year. And Elijah Martin rushing upfield, trying to put the ball away. That would have been a huge goal, but Bryce Landry finally with a good defensive stand.
That's just not the shot you want to see there. You want to try and waste more time as this game dwindles down, and West Jenny is looking electric on offense as
Jack
this fourth
Millen,
quarter closes out.
the long stick midfielder rolling upfield. And now a timeout for the Wildcats. Sean Smith elects to talk things over. That's the first time we've seen a timeout in a minute now. With 3.5 minutes to go, the North Stars lead 10-8. Some building momentum slowly following in the favor of the Wildcats. The North Stars having to offer rebuttals, it appears. How do the North Stars get this back into their favor and, kind of get their foot back in the gas and say, hey, this is my game, Riley?
A defensive stop. A defensive stop, and it wasn't a bad shot by Martin. I mean, he had a full head of steam going down. I would have liked for him to pull out, but if you have a shot, take it. Up to 3:22 left. It's a defensive stop, and it's staying active on the hands, know where the slide's coming, and anticipate the passes. If you do those 3 things, you're going to win the game, and Firth does it the best. He attacks the hands. He's active on the hands. His sticks in the passing lanes. That's what everybody has to follow him on defense. Get the ball back, kill the clock, come out of here with a win. Win and you're in.
Absolutely. I mean, when you're in, that's the best way to put it. Obviously, the North Stars trying to fight off the Wildcats, who are looking to get back in the win column and grab that number 3 seed as they are 5-8, third in the SCAC Metro for the sectional playoffs. Meanwhile, the North Stars are 0-5 in their last 5 games versus West Jenny. As a matter of fact, they haven't beat West Jenny in at least 15 years, so this would be quite the win if they could get it through, and a big one at that, because they need this win to get into the sectional playoffs.
Look for McNeil. Look for Linton. Matched up against CNS's 2 short sticks. They're going to take the ball. 2-man game.
R.J. Davis defending closely.
That's just
a loose ball. And Nolan Firth picks it up. A huge defensive stand for the North Stars.
But Kyle, first stick, active in the passing lanes. That's exactly what I said.
Now he passes it upfield to Ian Leahy. He finds some green grass. You have to imagine the North Stars will begin to slow things down here.
CNS needs to draw this possession. You can't waste time or a stupid turnover like that.
That is just
As we see
absolutely
the pass
brutal down
roll
the
out of bounds
stretch.
there. It's just, you can't afford that in these last closing minutes, as West Jenny can go on a red-hot run in these last 2.5 minutes, which you just cannot afford.
That is quite easily the biggest mistake I've seen down the stretch the North Stars have made. They just can't seem to put 4 quarters together. And now another loose ball. The Wildcats making mistakes too. It's just gaps both ways. The ball rolling out of bounds. Who has it? It appears it'll be Wildcat ball.
And I see an invert coming to the back. Davis has to step up. Up 2.
A shot from distance sails wide. That would have been quite the goal to bring things back within reach for the Wildcats. Instead, they get the get-back call, and they'll roll things over again from X. The lights just turn on here at Michael J. Bragman Stadium. A 10-8 ball game. The North Stars trying to take away history from the Wildcats and find themselves back in the sectional tournament. Another shot from distance, rolling out of bounds. Giovanni Heater comes out of goal to try and get the get-back call. They'll pass back up. Let's see if they can get a shot from distance. Turning around, firing. Another save from Giovanni Heater. Can he get the get-back? No, the Wildcats will maintain possession. All chaos here as 2 minutes strike the clock, and it's a 2-goal ball game in favor of the North Stars.
The CNS defense cannot break down now.
And another shot from distance. The Wildcats are fired up, offering another response, and it's a 10-9 ball game with 1:54 to go in the final quarter.
Kyle, as this instant replay is about to pop up from our producer, Spencer Conjal, he is the man.
Riley, you got this?
I mean, McNeil just drives that right side. It was the matchup that he wanted, and it's McNeil's best game of the season. 4 goals and 1 assist. He had his right side. CNS gave it to him, took 2-3 steps from GLE and fires it.
And this is as close as it gets. Aiden Long, Siracos, face-off, the biggest one at that tonight. A 10-9 ball game. The North Stars lead just dwindling away as the Wildcats trying to take this one away.
CNS needs this ground ball right here. That's trouble.
And now the Wildcats get the biggest win they'll have all night at the face-off. Nick Louise rolling around the right side. Can they tie things back up? And I have to imagine they're going to take their sweet time doing so.
And they better slide.
Number 29, left side, shot from distance. The Wildcats tie it up with 1.5 to go.
That's just trouble. CNS offense.
Rosa.
CNS being outscored 6-1 in this 4th quarter. They always have that breakdown quarter, and we are seeing the CNS team break down right now. They were leading, I want to say 6-4 at halftime, and it is now 10-10.
And the North Stars dead silent here on the sidelines. Gatto's got to reel these guys back in. The North Stars cannot afford to dwindle away in this final quarter. The Wildcats putting together one of the best final quarters I've ever seen in Section 3 sports.
Gatto still has 2 timeouts. Kyle would not be surprised if he takes one very soon here if CNS wins this faceoff. He will take a timeout and talk things over.
And that play happened because Aiden Long hadn't gotten off. Not his fault at all. But he was late to get off because the other faceoff guy had gotten off 2-on-1.
Call on the play. Can the North Stars get it? They do. On the call, the North Stars finally with a face-off win. You have to imagine they're going to take that timeout soon,
Kyle,
and they do.
you and I were
into
right.
existence, Owen.
We see Gatto take the timeout. That is huge. Jenny has gone on a huge run. Huge run, but you just cannot allow, if you're the CNS team. If I'm head coach in the Gatto, I'm saying to my team, hey, we had a minute 22 left. We're taking 1 shot. If I don't like what I see.
One shot.
Yeah, 1 shot.
1 shot.
And if he doesn't like what he sees rolling out, he'll take another one. He still has 1 timeout. And
I mean, I didn't mean to talk over your toes on, but if you take a bad shot and the goalie saves it or the ball goes out of bounds and West Jenny gets it, you're giving West Jenny has the momentum. I mean, we've been saying it. West Jenny has the momentum. You give it back to West Jenny, they will win the game. They will win the game.
Question is, how do you get the momentum back in your favor, Riley?
You take the last shot. You find your matchup. You start the ball with, I don't know. I mean, it probably is going to be Martin or Leahy up top.
So are we at the start of a long possession for the North Stars right now?
Yes.
We should not see West Jenny get the ball back in regulation.
You can't.
If you do, you lose this game,
Quite
in my
possibly
opinion.
the biggest possession the North Stars have had all season.
Yeah, you have to find your matchups. That's what it comes down to. It's just finding the matchup and taking the opportunity.
On that face-off win, the North Stars, their 11th face-off win tonight, only 4 they've lost, so a huge one at that. The North Stars heading back out into the field. If you're just tuning in, a 10-10 ball game. We're all tied up. The North Stars and the Wildcats have been close in all 2 games they've played, and now third this season. The North Stars down 0-2 in the regular season series, looking to flip history as they've never beat West Jenny in the past 15 years, or at least that's how far our record books go back. And so with 1 minute, 22 seconds to go, the North Stars possibly at the beginning of one of the biggest possessions they've had in CNS lacrosse history.
Yeah, in lacrosse history. That's right, Kyle.
Elijah Martin rolling around the right side. He'll take his time finding some space, or not. Back out to the top.
Cicerelli!
Shot from distance. The North Stars take the lead, 11-10 with 1 minute to go. Talk about punctuation. What a way to close it out.
Finish the game. 1:10 left. Cicerelli is the best gamer in this league. He steps up at the biggest times.
And this crowd has come alive here at Michael J. Bragman Stadium as the sun sets. Things are just heating up. And the crowd comes to their feet as the North Stars grab a massive lead.
This game's not over.
Big time
Unbelievable.
players show up in big time moments. And that's what Cicerelli is.
And now one of the biggest face-offs they've had all night. Ball pops out. Nolan Firth fighting for it at the midfield. Who wants it?
They'll call the
call
push,
the
and it
play.
looks like Jenny will get the ball.
And Wildcat
CNS
will have the
defense
ball.
cannot break down here. You have to stay dialed in. You got a minute left. You cannot afford a goal.
Rolling around, top of the crease, and getting stuff back out. Nolan Firth with a good defensive stand there. Now Joseph Delaney from distance rips. It goes wide. Whew, I'm on the edge of my seat right now. The Wildcats maintain possession, 47 seconds to go. If the North Stars get a defensive stand here, that quite possibly would be one of the biggest stands they've had all year.
West Jenny's going to keep firing. They seem to always have that guy on X who is there for the get back. They're going to keep firing until they get that goal to fall.
McNeil trying to find some space to the top. Ooh, a sliding catch. A great effort from the Wildcats right now to tie things back up.
Short stick matchup. It's what you're looking for.
The crowd comes to their feet here at Michael J. Bragman Stadium. The Wildcats trying to shut things down.
Louise, their best player.
Louise from distance, and he puts it away. The crowd hushes, and it's an 11-11 ball game with 23 seconds to go.
That was huge for Jenny there. Louise getting his first goal of the night is what it seems like to me, Riley and Kyle. That is his biggest goal of Jenny for the whole night. They get
Gamer.
there.
First goal of the night, biggest goal of the season, quite possibly.
Big time players, big time moments. Louise, Cicerelli. Cicerelli, Louise. Big time moment.
And this is as good as it gets here on the North Star Network. Aiden Long, Sirakos for faceoff. Ball pops out.
That's trouble.
Wildcats fighting for it. Who can get it? The Wildcats will pick it up. A call on the play and a timeout for Sean Smith.
Great timeout there by Sean Smith. CNS just cannot even give up a shot. You got to stay. You got to be ready for the slides. You got to be ready on defense. Once West Jenny comes out of this timeout, you cannot afford any simple mistakes.
I mean,
Man.
And you win and you're in. I mean, is this not the best game of lacrosse that we've called all season?
If the North Stars get this win, this defensive stop right here, this crowd might rush the field. I'm calling it right now.
Well, it's 11-11. So if they get the defensive stop, we play till overtime.
Well, that is if they can get the ball upfield with pace, of course. So
That's
we
true.
go into OT, golden goal. These guys are fired up. Giovanni Heater, senior captain, goalkeeper, and colleague of ours up here in the booth, spoke with us before the game and said these boys are freaking locked in. They've been watching tape. Tyler Mazzoli was up till 3 in the morning the other night, Riley, you told me. These
I don't know
guys,
about that.
it's as good as it gets. You know, I don't think the record is as indicative as it is. You know, 3-8 doesn't reflect how hard these guys work. And one of the, if not the toughest section of lacrosse in the United States.
One of the best in New York States.
Absolutely. It's as stacked as it gets with FM, Beeville, and of course West Jenny, who's having a bad season, but still one of the best teams in the area. I mean, this is as good as it gets.
And Linton will start off with the ball. And Linton was one of my stars on my sheet for tonight. Linton, a 2-goal, 1-assist guy. Linton has 1 goal tonight. He will drive the length of the field. If someone's open, then he'll pass it, but I expect him to drive it.
This has been back and forth in 16 seconds for the Wildcats to make history and put a dagger in the throats of the North Stars.
If I'm CNS, I'm locking off all my man. Make Linton beat you.
Now ball upfield. Elijah Martin guarding tightly. 10 seconds strikes the clock.
Rosa has the ball.
Rosa inside. Finding space. The clock nearly buzzing. A shot deflected away, and the North Stars will get away with it. Whew, they sail the ball upfield, and we're headed to overtime here at Michael J. Bragman Stadium. Don't leave just yet. We'll be right back with some more North Stars lacrosse looking to make history, put the golden goal away, and find themselves in the sectional playoffs. Welcome back to the North Star Network. The energy buzzing here at Michael J. Bragman Stadium. The North Stars fighting their way into the section playoffs. They need this win to keep their hopes alive. Obviously, it's just all tied up and sudden death. A 4-minute period to go. Who wants it more? Owen, what do you think?
Kyle, I see Tage. I see Long. Tage has been huge in these second half faceoffs for the Wildcats, and Long has been huge. Him and his brother, huge faceoff guys for the North Stars all season long. I am saying whoever wins this faceoff is winning the game.
And for me, it's wing play. It's wing play. It's not. I don't even think it comes down to who wins this face-off between these two. It's the wings. Who gets it on the wings? Because I say whoever wins this face-off is probably going to win the game.
Whatever team gets the ball out of possession from this face-off, Riley, is coming out of the victory here.
These boys itching to get going.
And there's not. You can hear a pin drop.
Dead silent here at Michael J. Bragman Stadium, bringing teams in to discuss things over. No, they're switching sides, excuse me. And now, an 11-11 ball game. In case you're just tuning in, it's been exciting to say the least. One of the most fun broadcasts I've had. Owen, earlier you and I were on the call for the unified basketball matchup, and now we're here for a nail-biter here at Michael J. Bragman Stadium. A win that the North Stars need in order to get into the section playoffs.
It's the biggest game of the season. It's probably the biggest game in Section 3 yet so far.
Ball pops out, and the North Stars fighting for it. Long wants it. Firth picks it up. North Stars have possession, and they'll call a timeout. What a win for the North Stars.
Great timeout there by Gatto. Riley, you said wing play is huge. We see Firth come in from that wing play and gets it for him.
My key to the game for CNS, wing play is so crucial for Firth and whoever else is on the wing, and it was Martin. It was Martin and Firth. Bringing Firth up to the wing was the only chance you had at knocking off this West Jenny team.
The sun is setting here at Michael J. Bragman Stadium. The sky beginning to look a little bit more like cotton candy. Things are getting real sweet over here at CNS High School because these guys have been back and forth all night. An 11-11 ball game. And in case you just missed it, the North Stars opening off this sudden death period with a huge face-off win. They've had 12 wins tonight to only the 8 wins in favor of the Wildcats. So not often that you see the teams such as the North Stars to be winning so many face-offs, but a pivotal one at that to close out this game quite possibly as the North Stars win possession to start off the sudden death period. Do you see the North Stars just attacking the rack or slowing things down and trying to formulate a play?
You find your shot. If you score, you win. It's not a matter of getting through time or slowing down time or getting through time quickly, I should say. You find your shot. I would not be surprised if we see a drive and dish here from CNS, like we saw Martin drove, found Blakeman on the, or not Blakeman, excuse me, Sister Rally on the dish, and he ripped one in at the close of that fourth quarter.
I'll tell you this. You don't score here, West Jenny will win the ball game. You must score here. Find your matchups and attack. You have to score here if you're going to win the game.
And the boys are firing up the crowd here at Michael J. Bragman Stadium. North Stars with possession. Mason Blakeman to start things off. rolling around the right side, scanning his options. Will the North Stars put the knife at the throats of the Wildcats?
That's smart. Put the ball in the best player's stick on offense.
Cimino. Inside.
Cimino!
Unbelievable! The North Stars throw the sticks up in the air, and they win it in overtime. Send them to the playoffs. These boys are ready to go.
Kyle, you and I are on the call for a girls lacrosse game. We saw the best player for CNS in golden goal against Baldwinsville. Fran Tortora. And maybe 40 seconds went around that same side, ripped one in for the CNS girls team. We see Cimino, 40 seconds in, rips one in for the North Stars.
Helmets fly. Tears are shed, excuse me. I'm at a loss for words. 3 minutes, 22 seconds left on the clock, and these guys are ready to go just as soon as sudden death started. And my fans down there in the stands promised they would rush the field. I don't know why they're still up here in the stands, because what a matchup from the North Stars tonight. They closed it out early.
You don't score on that possession, West Jenny wins the game. Cimino steps up in the biggest game in CNS. Bro, history, honestly. They haven't beat West Jenny in over 15 years.
Unbelievable. I mean, this is straight out of a movie scene here at Michael J. Bragman Stadium. Only a few hundred in attendance, but it feels like a few thousand because this crowd roared, let me tell you, and those guys rushed the field in a matter of seconds. And who else but Anthony Cimino, to put the ball away in the final seconds, turning around in the crease, and he puts the knife in the throats of the Wildcats. Don't leave just yet. We'll be back for our post-game show to break things down, and I'm sure we're going to try and get guys such as Giovanni Heater and Anthony Cimino up in the booth. It's just unbelievable. Welcome back here on the North Star Network, closing things down. And we want to look at that final play from Anthony Cimino, Riley Kennedy to break that down. What a way to do it.
As Cimino, one of the best gamers in Section 3, finds his matchup, takes it to the left side and spins back, rolls back to his dominant hand and just sneaks it in. Sneaks it in the goal as the helmets and sticks fly. I mean, you win and you're in. One of the best plays of the night. Cimino found his space, and he took advantage of it and just sneaked it in the near pipe.
So welcome back here in the booth of the North Star Network, and what a way to close it out. Riley Kennedy on the call to find that final play. It was a back-and-forth matchup early on, but we can't help but not look at the stats. Of course, those face-offs were pivotal early on. The North Stars with 12 wins, the Wildcats only with 8 face-off wins, so that's absolutely pivotal. You know, I mean, obviously those face-offs were big. And, you know, Riley, you said that wing play was going to be so important. Who in the wing was kind of really getting the job done other than Nolan Firth? I think R.J. Davis was in there a little bit. Who do you highlight?
I mean, besides Nolan Firth, it was R.J. Davis and Elijah Martin. And in that overtime, late fourth quarter, it was Elijah Martin. I mean, he came up big to play, and it was talking to your face-off guy. It's one of the most important things in the sport of lacrosse. Talk to your face-off guys. Just talk in general. No, do you want me coming in straight on the 50, matched up with my man? Do you want me dropping in on defense? But Firth being on that LSM was the only way that CNS was going to win this ballgame.
And for the Wildcats, what do you think went wrong? Obviously, you know, some offensive play just wasn't happening, some errors in the midfield. Owen, what did you notice?
I saw West Jenny just didn't play their brand of lacrosse. Saw Rosa get shut down for most of the game. Louise only with 1 goal and 1 assist. Linton 1 goal. Rosa only 3 points. Those are your main guys that you need to score and get points in that game for you to come out with a victory. And just West Jenny did not do that.
And what a brand of lacrosse it was, up here in the booth of the North Star Network. It was just so fantastic to call this game, and quite possibly the best game we've had all year, and perhaps in CNS boys lacrosse history, because these guys put it away in fantastic fashion. Anthony Semino with the OT goal, sudden death, clutches it for the CNS North Stars, who grab that seed possibly in the CNS, or the Section 3 lacrosse playoffs. I mean, it's just as good as it gets, and really I'm at a loss for my words in case you guys couldn't tell. So to close it out up here in the booth, a 12-11 game in favor of the North Stars, who win it in overtime. Sticks fly in the air, helmets fly in the air, and we decide not to grab any of these athletes really because we don't want to take this moment away from them. So for me up here in the booth, quite the season. I'd like to thank you guys for coming in, because what a way to close it out it was. A special season for me, a special season for these boys who still have ESM next week. So thank you guys for tuning in. For Owen O'Keefe, Riley Kennedy, we have Spencer Conjal up here in the booth, Drew Williams on the camera, of course Daryl White, our PA announcer, Tim Benarski, our athletic director, and of course Johnny up here in the booth helping out with stats. What a roster we had tonight, and what a game we had tonight. For everyone here at the North Star Network, we thank you for tuning in, and good night.